Small talk like a pro. Do you ever walk into a room, see people talking easily, and instantly feel like everyone else got a handbook that you never received? Maybe somebody says hello and your brain goes blank. Maybe you overthink what to say at the doctor's office. Maybe you stand at a restaurant counter rehearsing one simple sentence like it's a courtroom speech. Maybe you're actually smart, kind, and interesting. But the moment small talk starts, you suddenly feel 12 years old. If that sounds familiar, this video is for you. Today, we're going to learn how to small talk like a pro, not in a fake way, not in a manipulative way, not in a loud look at me way, in a calm, human, confident way. Because small talk is not really about performing. It's about making people feel safe with you. It's about creating a tiny bridge. And once you understand that, this whole subject gets much easier. So if you've ever felt awkward at the doctor, nervous ordering food, weird in elevators, stiff at work, or frozen meeting new people, stay with me. By the end of this video, you're going to have a simple system you can use almost anywhere. 1. First, stop treating small talk like a test. This is the mistake a lot of people make. They think every small conversation is a little exam. Did I sound smart? Did I say the right thing? Did I come off weird? Did I talk too much? Did I not talk enough? That mindset makes everything harder because now you're not in a conversation. You're in self-surveillance. And when you're busy monitoring yourself, you can't relax enough to connect. So let's replace that whole idea. Small talk is not a test. It's a warm-up. That's all. It's the social version of stretching before a workout. Nobody expects a warm-up to be deep, perfect, or life-changing. Its job is just to get things moving. That shift alone helps a lot because when you stop trying to be amazing, you become much easier to talk to. 2, the goal is not to impress. The goal is to make it easy. This is the secret that makes socially smooth people seem relaxed. They're not always more interesting. They're often just easier. They make the moment lighter. They take pressure off the other person. They ask simple things. They respond simply. They don't act like every sentence has to sparkle. That's why people like talking to them. So from now on, let your goal be this. How can I make this easier? Not, how can I seem impressive? That one question changes everything. At the doctor, easier sounds like. Hi, I just wanted to check in for my appointment. At a restaurant, easier sounds like. Can I get the grilled chicken, please? At work, easier sounds like. How's your day going? Far, at a party, easier sounds like. How do you know the host? Simple is strong, simple is smooth. Simple works. 3, use the room. One reason people freeze is because they think they have to invent conversation out of thin air. You don't. The room is already helping you. Look around. Where are you? What's happening? What's the shared moment? That's usually where the first line lives if you're at a doctor's office. They're running a little behind today, huh? If you're at a restaurant. Have you had this before? If you're at work. Has today felt long to you too? If you're at a school event. This place is packed tonight. If you're waiting in line, this line moves slower every time I come here. You don't need a magic opener. You just need something normal and easy. Most people are far more open to that than your anxious brain assumes. 4, keep your first line short. This helps so much. Nervous people often make the first line too long. Why? Because they're trying to say everything correctly the first time. So they over-explain, they rush, they add extra words. Then they feel clunky. So let's make life easier. Keep the first line short, very short. Examples. Hey, how's your day going? Hi, have you been here before? This weather is wild today. That looks really good. What did you order? Long day? How do you know everyone here? That's enough. You don't need to arrive with a speech. You just need to open the door. 5, ask about something light before something deep. A lot of people secretly do this backwards. They skip the easy middle and either say almost nothing or jump too far too fast. Small talk works best in steps. Step 1, notice the situation. Step 2, ask something light. Step 3, follow what feels natural. So if someone says, I just got here from work, don't panic and think, now I need a brilliant question. You can simply say, was it one of those days? Or, what kind of work do you do? Or, did you rush straight here? That's how conversations grow, not through genius, through little openings. 6, the best talkers notice here's something that surprises people. The best conversationalists are often not the people who talk the most. They're the people who notice the most. They notice energy, they notice pace, they notice details, they notice when somebody wants warmth instead of intensity. So if you want to get better at small talk, stop thinking only about what you'll say. Start noticing more. Notice what the person is holding, what mood they seem to be in, what the setting is doing, whether they seem rushed or relaxed, whether they want a quick answer or a longer exchange. If someone looks tired, you don't need to come in like a game show host. If someone looks chatty, you don't need to answer like a robot. Good small talk is often just good adjustment. 7, you only need 3 or 4 rescue phrases. This is where a lot of confidence comes from, not from always knowing what to say, but from knowing what to say when your mind goes blank. Here are a few rescue phrases that work almost anywhere. How's your day been? How do you know everyone here? What brought you here today? Have you been here before? That sounds intense. How did that happen? Really? Tell me more. No way. How long has that been going on? That's enough. You don't need 20. You need a few that feel comfortable in your mouth. Then you use them again and again until they feel natural. That's how social confidence is built. Not by becoming another person, by practicing a few dependable tools. 8, what to do in anxiety situations. Let's make this practical, because some moments really do feel bigger than they look. Talking to a doctor or receptionist, you don't need to sound polished. You need to sound clear. Try. Hi, I have an appointment and wanted to check in. Or, hi, I had a quick question about my appointment. That's enough. Ordering in a restaurant pick before you get to the counter if possible. That lowers panic fast. Then say, can I get the chicken sandwich, please? If they ask a question and you need a second. Give me 1 moment. That's a powerful sentence. Use it, making a phone call. Write the first sentence down before you call. Something like, hi, I am calling because I wanted to ask about... You don't need to freestyle. You just need to begin running into someone at work. If you never know what to say, use, how is your week going? Or working on anything interesting today? You'd be amazed how far that can take you. 9, let awkwardness happen a little. This part is important. You're never going to become socially confident if your rule is, I must never feel awkward. That rule is impossible. Everybody has awkward moments. Everybody says clunky things sometimes. Everybody has small blanks. What socially strong people do differently is not magic. They recover faster. They don't turn 1 weird second into a full identity crisis. So if you stumble, try this. Smile. Breathe, keep going. You don't have to punish yourself for being human. In fact, sometimes a little awkwardness makes you more likable. It shows that you're real. 10, listening beats performing. This is one of the biggest upgrades you can make. Instead of trying to carry the whole conversation, become good at receiving. Listen for emotion, detail, energy, what they care about. Then reflect something back. If they say, I just moved here a month ago, you can say, oh wow, how has that been? If they say, work has been crazy, you can say, crazy busy or crazy messy. That's how you keep a conversation moving without forcing it. You're not inventing, you're following. That's why good listeners often seem so charismatic. They make people feel heard. 11, give yourself easier reps. If you want to get better, don't wait for huge moments. Practice in tiny ones. Talk to the cashier, the barista, the receptionist, the neighbor, the person next to you in line. Not every moment needs to become a full conversation, but because your nervous system learns through repetition, the more normal these little exchanges become, the less loaded they feel. And then suddenly, bigger conversations don't feel so impossible. This is how confidence actually works. Tiny reps, tiny wins, tiny proof. 12. A graceful exit is part of confidence too. A lot of people stay scared of small talk because they don't know how to leave. So let's fix that too. Good exits are simple. It was nice talking to you. I'm going to go grab a drink. It was great meeting you. I should get back to my table, but I am glad we talked. I am going to head out, but enjoy the rest of your night. That's all. You don't have to vanish weirdly. You don't have to stay too long. You can enter simply and leave simply. That's confidence. Closing. If you want to small talk like a pro, remember this. You don't need to become louder. You don't need to become fake. You don't need to become the most interesting person in the room. You just need to become easier with the moment. Use the room. Keep the opener short. Ask light questions, notice more, listen better, carry a few rescue phrases, let awkwardness happen a little, and keep practicing in small everyday places where the stakes are low. That's how socially smooth people are made. Not born, made. And if you've spent years thinking, I am just bad at this, I want to leave you with something better. Maybe you're not bad at conversation. Maybe nobody ever showed you how simple it could be. If this helped, subscribe and share it with someone who overthinks every social moment and needs a gentler way to get better.